Hello everybody and welcome out to the Type S Scorched, presented by AutoZone. This is round 3 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. I'm Jared Deenda and we are here at Orlando SpeedWorld, OSW. They're back to the start line and it looks like we do have a clean start. Here we go. There goes Osbo, initiating into the bank. LZ just as high. Look at that, making it look good. Dragging the bump of that Rockstar energy drink. Toyota GR Supra now coming down into that first inside clip. LZ spins. As long as Osbo continues on through the course, it'll be Osbo with the victory. And Osbo continues on. Like I said, he knows how to drift in the ice. He races on ice. He drifts over there. And that was the first lap. Yes, sir. That is the first lap. Here's run 2 of this Adam LZ Frederick Osbo battle. LZ with a massive deficit as he missed outside zone 2, inside clip 1 and going off course.
See the lights on the right?
So, yeah, the lights on the right, just right next to Matt Sopa, our starter. When they extinguish, the lead driver can then lead. No sooner than before they extinguish. Adam LZ initiates the AutoZone RTR Spec 5D. The Type S lights are on. The RTR signature grill. Frederick Osbo keeping good proximity, decent angle. Both of them coming down off that bank. Frederick Osbo dives onto the inside. Now, there's no smoke to get into the way, but there is steam. A lot of that sprit's being thrown up. And it looks like Adam LZ, as much as he wants to fight for this, Frederick Osbo putting it down. And he did exactly what he needed to do. And the Rockstar energy drink driver moves on, and Adam LZ is knocked out. So Frederick Osbo. Jeff Jones talking about nitrous bottles. And we have a clear start. Looks like a little, talked about the Scandinavian flick, and Jones goes high on the bank. Looks like Jones a little more settled. Brandon Sorensen, he works his way up there. Got that proximity now coming down into the first inside clip. There goes Jones past it. Brandon, black angle, now crawling over that jump. Brandon not hitting it right in the middle, but definitely you can see him kind of going back and forth. Still keeps proximity. Jones, he's got the right line. Let's see what he's got here. And Ryan, as you said, you know, you look at the forecast on any of your phones and it looks like it hits and quits. So hopefully, again, we get dry conditions at some point here tonight. Brandon Sorensen initiates, and look at now they're alternating positions in more ways than one. Brandon is high, and Jeff is struggling to get the height. As Brandon now comes down into the splash zone on that inside clip. See, they handle the second inside clip. Brandon goes a little bit wide here. This is very difficult. They're making it look easy. Brandon lacking that angle, almost breaking out. Jeff applying the pressure. I mean, this is, you know, FD has no control, obviously, of the weather. And Jeff Jones gets the win. 86 going against the Coro Works BMW of Nick Novak. And here comes Taguchi. Flicks it in. I'll tell you what, I think Taguchi's got a lot of wet, background, a lot of wet history driving in these conditions. And again, this is for all the marbles here. This is run 1. Taguchi out front. Past that second inner clip. Taguchi about the second hash mark. Nick Novak wildly coming to the side of Taguchi, but it looks good. Oh, Taguchi goes a little wide, not wild. And here we go. This is Nick Novak initiating. Look at him. Look, he's looking comfortable in the wet. Nice job by Novak, that Coro Works BMW. Now dropping in, that bumper slamming on in. Big angle from Novak. Novak didn't know he was on the list either, being comfortable in the rain.
Yep.
Slower speed, a little more precise. I like what he's doing here. He does just barely right there at the end. One more time. So it's going where they are going at it again. Here we go, Kazuya Taguchi. Taguchi, you can see those yellow headlights of Novak shine on the yellow rear end of the 86. And Taguchi, it seems that Again, he is not leaving the judge's hand. He was high on the bank. Novak, like I said, who'd have thunk? Novak is no slack right now. Kazuya. Looks like he drops in the crease. He felt the car kind of rise up a little bit. Here we go, Nick Novak, Kazuya Taguchi. You know, you just want to see a fair, straight-up competition. And remember, this is one more time. They both definitely have the talent, have the skill. Who's going to put it together? Novak tapping the wall, but stays in it. Nick Novak, Mr. Nick, no bumper. Into that inside clip one, Novak a bit off of it. And now into that second inside clip. You're talking about advantageous. Novak really goes up, but now comes down. So, and Kazuya right there. Yeah, and unfortunately for Nick Novak, he is out, but Kazuya Taguchi gets the win.
See it again.
Absolutely justifiable. Michael Essa out front. Ryan Littrell in the chase position. Essa goes in as Ryan Littrell trying to chase him down. You can see Littrell not as high on that bank. Into that first inside clip, Littrell taking a wider line. And Essa now diving in on and does not get that second inside clip as Littrell, you can see him grip up, take some angle out of his car. He does have that proximity now. He mimics and talks about, we talked about going into the pocket. It seemed like he did that.
Let's get the replay up, Jared, and see what it looks like. Here we go. As they drive up to initiation, you look at Essa. Decent initiation there. Ryan Littrell is right behind him. Not really close in proximity initially, but he's slowly closing it. You can see maybe missing inside clip 2 is the most major one that he made. Off a little bit on 1 as well.
Here comes Ryan Littrell out front. Michael Essa in the chase. Ryan Littrell taps the brakes a little bit, but Michael Essa backs off and now reinitiates. Ryan Littrell tapping that back bumper on the wall. Brian slamming down. You can see that angle that he took. It was just so violent to go boom, boom. You just saw the car, just the attitude of it. Essa, you see compromising, taking out some angle again. But Littrell getting right into that crease. Nice job there. Just as I say that, punches that finish line. Looks like it will be over as Michael Essa gets the win. Castro in the Toyota Forsberg in that all-new Nissan Z. Castro in the all-new Toyota GR86. Castro initiates into the bank. Forsberg in tow. Castro. See him really sticking it to the wall. Forsberg sticking it to the door of that Toyota. Now coming into that first inside clip, transitioning now into that second inside clip. There goes Castro, there goes Forsberg. In that second outside zone, Castro taking a very shallow line. He needs to find his car out there. And Forsberg pressuring him. A 3-time champ, Chris Forsberg. NOS energy drink. All new Nissan Z. Castro trying to be aggressive, but we talk about being in the pocket, and he is bursting that bubble right now. He is exceeding the front tires. He has the proximity, but we need him to get in the pocket. And Castro, being too aggressive, did not allow himself enough room to transition. If he completes the entirety of this run, he will get the victory. He does exceed that line, but imagine like doing a dirt drop in Atlanta, you know, going to the keyhole. I told you, Forsberg said, come on, bring the rain, I'm with it, and it worked out for him. Chris the Force Forsberg gets the win. Love to not have to do the sight laps. Just turn and burn, baby. Masuyama, by now Japan. In the front, Dan Burkett sticks the nose, that Mark IV Supra to the side of Masuyama. You can see them both just kind of click, 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 torquing it up. Now into that first inside clip. Dan a little bit off further than Masuyama. Now into the second inside clip. Dan making a quick little adjustment there. Still does hit that second clip. Not a lot of angle here from Masuyama. And now, look at that, allowing Dan Burkett. Oh, look at that, smooching tire treads. We are in the Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. Rat Dan initiates, look at that.
Smoke.
Oh, I'm seeing some smoke, seeing some steam. Oh, look at that, backs it in. And Masuyama Now he's playing catch-up. Big angle there from Briquette. And we talked about how he's gotten his car down. Look at that massive angle from Dan Briquette. A little bit off of that outside line. I'd like to see him out there, but I think he was a little nervous. He didn't want to go too far out. The result, Masayama or Dan Briquette. 1, says Dan Briquette. 2, says Dan Briquette. Dan Briquette gets the win over Masayama. Yeah, I assume they're going to go all the way back to the pits, and this could be a competition timeout for them.
Yes. Depending how serious that is, you know, they might know that it's really serious and not take the CTO.
You know, I was looking forward to a great battle with Stuck, but yeah, just can't catch a break.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Jared, Ryan.
Thank you, Lorette. And man, I don't know. Gucci got a smile on his face. He's keeping such a PMA, man. Positive mental attitude as Daniel Stuckey. This is Byron on layout. And listen to this hot rod and spec, Daniel Stuckey. As Odi Bakshi leaves the start line, he will lead that Falcon tires. Field suspension as the team. Eve Meyer.
Whoa!
Oh, and Odi Bakshi's very uncharacteristic. Oh man, look at that back left of Eve Meyer. Oh man, and
Odi does the 1, the 2, and the car just snaps back. Little rub of the wall, but
that was wild.
Right there is Eve Meyer trying to avoid contact, but of course, we're telling them to be close, and he was certainly close, so we're affected by it.
All right, if that's what you suspect with your 3D vision, let's see if it comes true. Here we go, Eve Meyer out front. Eve Meyer initiates, oh, big angle there. You see Odi Bakshi. He knows he needs to throw down a gangster run. He's trying to apply the pressure, maybe rattle the cage of Eve Meyer, but Eve, oh, he goes up high. Now keep in mind, Eve Meyer's an instructor in Switzerland. They have a driving school in the snow. They know how to handle this. And just with Odi going to the wall, there it is. Man, unfortunate literal turn of events for Odi Bakshi. Here we go. Going against Mike Power from New York. Power Racing S15. And here we go. Chelsea Denofa initiates. Like you said, there's some smoke. There's some steam. Big angle from Denofa, backs it in, just slamming bumpers. Mike Power takes that tight line, knocks over the cone, goes over the jump. Little whiner swing by Mike Power. Chelsea Denofa gets into that crease. All right, here we go with Mike Power, Chelsea Denofa. Mike Power out front. Ooh, you can see him working up there. Got scared of that wall, and now comes into that first clip. Chelsea Denofa really tight. Now into that second clip.
Oh.
Mike Power, massive angle, but oh, he comes out. That's going to be an incomplete for Power, unfortunately.
Yes, it is.
So there it is. Chelsea Denofa gets the win. Compromise. That's a word that keeps coming up in our vocabulary, and that's what we need to do is compromise here. Here comes Ryan Turk, that Rain-X Toyota GR roll-on Nitto tires. Ula Jaeger, the Japan Auto Mark IV Supra, lower on the bank. And we didn't see his car in driver intros, so now how are they going to handle the more wet portion? A lot of puddles here going through the center section. On that second inside clip, Ula Jaeger definitely, oh, it goes into the side, but Turk keeps on going. So fortunately, that could have been a lot worse, but Ula Jaeger shuts it down. So
wow,
again,
that was surprising.
Grip and slip. Let's take a look at it again. That was sketchy.
Nice initiation for Turk there, and Ula's right behind him, but Ula drops down right away. You can see his front right tire over the white line. Ryan Turk drops down, nice and smooth there. No real perturbation in the angle of the car. That was great. Ula in proximity on the right line. Right there you see Turk filling outside zone. Number 2 really well. Ula straightens up, taps his front fender. Ryan Turk seems undisturbed by that, keeps drifting. Unfazed. Ula shuts it down. So that'll be on Ula. He'll most likely have an incomplete.
but he doesn't need to be on his door. But also, he just had a sight lap. They had 2, but conditions are changing by the second. Ula Jaeger initiates lower on the bank. A lot of smoke here. A lot of steam now coming down into that first inside clip. You need to manage that. Oh, that's all she wrote. So that's it. I mean, even if Turk completes it, he doesn't need to. Ula going off course. That's going to be a wrap, unfortunately, for the Japan Auto, the Norwegian driver, Ula Jaeger, and there it is. So Ryan Turk and that Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla Rockstar Energy on Nitto tires advances on. That drag race start, we saw that from Schwab heading on. And there goes JTB. Flicking into that big bank. Justin Pollock. Whoa, look at this. Yo, it's drying out, baby. JTB in that first inside clip. Gene Carnage Carney, Hyper, NFT, IO, Dodge Viper firing off. Look at that. That side exhaust blowing over. That second inside clip. Justin Pollock. Now that second outside zone. Most exciting run we've seen so far. Make some noise. I think chaotic is the best way to describe it. So, maybe dial it down, pack a little scotch, here we go. Nope, you can't tell a guy named Carnage to chill out. Gene Carnage, Dodge Viper. Let's see if he can pull it off this bank and down into that clip. Really well done by both drivers. Coming down into that second inside clip. Looks like Dean does swing a little wide, and that's what you're talking about. That speed you're carrying through, it's slick, so it's going to cause you to slide out as Dean does exceed it a little bit and then brings it on back. One more time, they're going at it again. Oh, look at that.
That was a late start.
A little late start for Dean, but we'll see if he can catch up. Justin Pollock initiates, stays high on the bank. That might not have paid off for Dean Carney. Almost a bit of a drag race to that first outside zone. Oh, Pollock with a wide swing, that's too off. That's exactly what we're talking about, Ryan. Coming in too hot, you're gonna slip and slide your way off. A Hyper NFT, next tire, Dodge Viper. Dean Carney initiates Justin Pollock. He knows he has some ground to make up. And man, 2 very aggressive drivers coming to that first clip. The composure that Pollock has, aggressive, but then just pedals it back just enough. Really well done lead here by Dean Carnage Carney. Ooh, comes off of that grease. And let's make it official, slide him right for Dean Carnage Carney and the Hyper NFT.io Dodge Viper gets the win. Here comes Matt Field, Rome Charpentier, Matt Field, Falcon tires, Drip Cave, Boyle exhaust, Corvette. The Ford Star wheels go round, the Falcon tires get lit up. Sticking it to the wall. Now here comes Rome Charpentier. It's been very aggressive lately, but how is the wet going to be handled? Rome Charpentier, no big deal for Rome. Looks like Matt tries to find that crease and he sets it. And you see Rome Charpentier, the garage disc BMW E36 comes. We are seeing Matt Field giving chase. Let's see what we got here. Rome Charpentier initiating. Nice job initiation. But what's he got now? We will see. Now coming down, slamming down in that flat portion of the track. Oh, doctor! Matt Field narrowly escapes contact. Matt Field at good proximity, but unfortunately the Rome spinning out.
Matt, you know, all of that advantage that he had wasn't necessarily necessary for him because of that spin, but he was doing an awesome job until that point.
About to find out. Rockstar Energy Drink, top 32. Travis Reeder out front. Initiates in outside zone 1. Travis Reeder, that Link ECU, BMW. Trent Beecham with a bit more angle on the bank, but lower into that first clip. This thing's firing off, man. Beecham's car loud and proud into that second outside zone. Reeder makes a quick little adjustment. Ben Beecham taking a shallower line. I like what Reeder said because Dylan told me that they talked about it. The hardest, easiest course they've driven. So here we go. Beecham initiates. Oh, what's going on?
Something, a wheel
we
flew
lost
off.
tires. Oh, boy. Oh, riding the lightning. We got 3 wheels, baby. Spark it up. He's going back to the future. We don't need no stinking wheels. Where we're going, we don't need roads. Beecham makes some noise. We're going ham. It's definitely dried out.
What the heck happened there? That brake rotor is pretty hot right now, I'd say. Can you imagine the groove? That
the wheel's going for it, going towards the finish line.
Wow. Can you imagine the groove he just dug in the asphalt all the way around that track?
Jesus, take the wheel. Wrong wheel.
What is it with this track and Mustangs?
The wheel
JTP
says,
last year.
all right, I'm going to head out. We got Beecham.
And
His
it
hand.
crosses the finish line. So right here, let's watch from this angle. We'll be able to see what happened. There, the wheel came off immediately on initiation. And you can see it come off there. That wheel had a lot of mileage on its own. It came off real early and it made it all the way around the bank and crossed the finish line over there.
Those sparks right next to that gas tank. That's the precarious one.
That's a testament to that gas tank. No leaks there.
Wow. Wow. Travis Reeder gets the win. Slide him left as Trenton Beecham exits stage left. AZ Rags, BMW, that Comp Cams GT Radial, Yellow Speed Racing, here we go. That is full pull, Taylor Hull. Whoa, look at that, Jonathan Hurst, Taylor Hull. You got Kentucky versus Georgia, man. Coming down that first inside clip. Taylor Hull dives in on the inside, tries to take an aggressive line. Both them taking out, oh, a little correction there from Jonathan Hurst, that might hurt him. It allows Taylor Hull to get close. Man. And clean start, here we go. Second half of this battle, Taylor Hull, the Comp Cam's vet. He says he's feeling good, liking the car, and no reason why he shouldn't win battle. But Jonathan Hurst, who has been really amazing and tremendous, just thrashing in the Pro Championship. He drops a wheel, doesn't overcook it. So again, drying out. We saw Paul overcook it and overshoot. And now it looks like Taylor Hull, that Comp Cam's GT Radial vet. Here we go, slide him left for Hurst, right for Taylor Hull, and full pull. Taylor Hull gets the win. Dylan Hughes, that royal purple BMW. What's going on here? What is, did he, the light extinguished. Is Fetty dead on the line? So Dylan Hughes continues through the course. The side lap was completed. Did I know Fetty, I don't know what's going on here. So here we go with that Pennzoil 599 GTV. And here comes Federico initiating into the bank. Now Dylan Hughes can't play it too cool. Federico in that single turbo V12 Ferrari now coming slamming down in that first flip. Dylan Hughes, I think gonna play it a little bit cool, dial it back to about a 9, 9.5. Because he does have that advantage on field markers, like you said, Ryan, really stand out. But unfortunately, standing still is not what you want to do. The well-dressed man, unfortunately, gets taken out by the dozer, Dylan Hughes. Nissan 350Z Maxxis supercharged, and again, that twin supercharged V12, the heart of racing. Let's see if the pulse is on. Alex Robbins initiates, nasty initiation by Robbins. Rides that big bank, and Darren Kelly, he might be his conditions, but he might be out of his element. Oh, doctor!
Whoa.
Oh, that could have been a lot worse.
Seems to have lost control on the transition here and over-rotated because he was in that wet area on the right side of the track. Darren Kelly was trying to keep proximity there, expecting him to maybe recover from that over-rotation. You can see he's way inside there on that inside clip, which is a very wet portion of the track because nobody else has driven there yet and it's still wet. So right there you see that wheel-to-wheel contact, and then you see Darren Kelly's front right turning in, which it should not be doing in that situation. So definitely some broken parts there.
Layout, let's listen to this impact right here. All right, here we go back to Darren Kelly and the Heart of Racing Aston Martin. Songs that front bumper. Let's lay out, listen to this twin supercharged V12.
He's unsure of what's up at the front end there. Of course, after that hit, wants to make sure that it feels right.
A swarm of bees. smart approach. That is a very smart approach. And yes, Darren Kelly will advance as Alec Robbins had to retire, was unable to fix his car, and Darren Kelly was given ample amount of time. So here we go. We are sending cars. Frederick Osmo, the Rockstar Energy Drink. Toyota GR Supra on Ditto tires going against the Evo AutoWorks GT Radial Nissan 370Z and Jeff Jones. Frederick Osmo initiates high on the bank. There he goes. See him tapping there. Look at Jeff Jones. Like I said, you can't count anybody out. He is the self-sleeper coming down like we called him. Ryan Sabertino, the relentless one, and he is absolutely delivering just as he falls back. Frederick Osmo, the Type S lights are flashing. It's a disco underneath this car. All right, Jeff Jones now on front. So look, oh my gosh, smoke is filling the Coliseum. That is OSW. Jeff Jones with that Scandinavian slick into the zone. Little working his way higher, but Frederick Osmo slams down some sparks being thrown. That gold nose has gotten Osmo in trouble before, but not today. Jeff Jones riding that line. The GT Radial being burnt up. And Frederick Osmo gets the win. For lack of a better term, aggressively in prior rounds. All right, Kazuya Taguchi, no coats in. Taguchi initiates. Look at Essa. Look, I mean, just identical initiation. Good angle from Kazuya Taguchi. Look at Taguchi. Blasts that inside clip just barely. Past that second inside clip. Kazuya Taguchi puts it right on the line. Pulls off a little bit. Again, we've seen all the seasons here. Although we haven't seen a snow, but it's definitely going to rain some smoke. Oh, Kazuya Taguchi with a late entry. A late initiation from Taguchi with such a strong lead run. Oh, boy. Holy cow.
That was close.
That could have been a Michael Essa T-bone sandwich. Wow. Moving on to the grade 8 is Michael Essa and the FCP Euro Liqui Bilstein GT Radial BMW. Little stutter step there from Burkett and Forsberg. Swing across the nose from Dan Burkett. And here comes Forsberg talking about that horsepower he's got on deck. Will it show up here, coming down into that first inner clip? Chris Forsberg brings it across its second inside clip. Dan Burkett almost into that crease. So Dan Burkett coming a bit short here. Wants to continue that success. He's going to need to throw down here. Big initiation from him. Dan Burkett gets right to the side of him. Has to fall back as Forsberg continues on in pace. Again, that soft suspension absorbs it. Now going into that second inside clip and that final second outer zone. Burkett bathing in the GT Radial smoke. Burkett keeps his prowess though. Chris Forsberg gets the win. Forsberg gets the win. Eve Meyer qualified 21st. Daniel Stuckey qualified 28th. So Eve Meyer will lead in that Toyota Gazoo Racing Switzerland 86. Nice job by Eve Meyer so far. Oh, and another, oh man. It came out and admittedly, Stuckey, he doesn't need to complete. I mean, that was an incomplete.
From Chris Judge over here, caught that for us. And now let's watch the second run of this battle.
Wow, Eve Meyer really flirting with the back end of Daniel Stuckey's M-Spec vehicle, but Eve Meyer knows he needs to throw down. He's pushing it. Oh, pushes right to the side.
Literally.
And the back. So Stuckey stays in it. Yo, he said he's down to party. Slammed in, mosh pit here on that center. And Daniel Stuckey gets the win. Daniel Stuckey gets the win. Eve Meyer hitting him from the side. So this battle of Chelsea Denofa, the Pennzoil Mustang RTR Spec 5D, and Ryan Turk and that Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla. Chelsea Denofa high in the bank. Look at Ryan Turk working his way up the bank. And now, get all up in that Ditto tire smoke, slamming down that first inside clip, bouncing off into the second inside. inside clip. Chelsea Nova pulling away from the Long Beach winner. Chelsea Nova right in the crease, coming all the way across. Ryan Turk having a hard time. Chelsea Nova will advance on into the Grade 8, the Pennzoil Mustang RTR Spec 5D. He's turned a lot of tires here at OSW as well. He loses a bumper by himself. That's how much he shaves bumpers off. Looking cool, and the HyperAnna team, one big sponsor, HyperAnnaT.io. Matt Field initiates, Dean Carter's corner, let's see it, look at him, goes right to the side. That black shadow of a Dodge Viper. A little bit lower on the bank for Dean Carney. Past that inside clip, Dean just barely nudges it over, past the second inside clip, shreds it, till he jabs it. And those Nexus tires keeping up with the Falcons. Dean Carney swings across the nose of that Corvette. Dean Carney puts some more angle into it. Matt Field slides to the door of Carnage. That Viper nose slams down, some fire from that side exhaust. And now to that second outside zone. Bringing it all the way through. Matt Field gets the win unanimously. And then you got the Comp Cams GT Radial Corvette. Taylor Hull said he's excited. And now he's got to go against Travis Reeder. 2 V8 drives as Reeder. Big angle from Reeder at the tail end of that outside zone 1. Now pass a little buck. Pass it over that jump in the second outside zone. Reeder powers through the finish line, and Taylor Hull does the same. Here comes Taylor Hull. And here comes Reeder. And look at Taylor Hull. Oh, Reeder. You see him gaining ground. If they touch tires, it could be disastrous. Into that first inside zone, Taylor knocks it over. Reeder, now he falls back. Coming that second outside zone. Right there in the crease. Just barely going over that line. One more time, and Travis Reeder gets the win. All right, looks like Dylan Hughes is to the start line, and this is his bye run. Thank you, Lorette, and unfortunate for Darren Kelly. We'll see him in New Jersey, get the right part. Whoa, as lightning strikes, the royal purple BMW rips through the course. 2J powered. Dylan the Dozer Hughes gets the win. Osbo and Essa leaving the start line. Throwing it into that first outside zone. Osbo sticks to the wall. Osbo trying to stick it to the door. Yo, right there. Looks like you saw a little bit of attitude of those front ditto tires from Osbo. Oh! Essa dives in. Second outside zone, wrapping around that second clip. Well done, Osbo and Essa. Woo! I'm just, man, I'm not gonna have a voice by the end of this thing. Michael Essa, paging Michael Essa, you're out front. Send it, here we go. Michael Essa, Frederick Osbo. Essa initiates, oh, look at Osbo, aggressive. Dives down, let's see if he can massage it up. Osbo taking a lower line, Michael Essa staying high. Look at Osbo, what? Are you kidding me? How is is the nose of that car invisible? Are you absolutely insane? Osbo versus Essa, and slide him left for Frederick Osbo getting the win. Lights are off, and it's go time. Daniel Stuckey will lead, initiating into the bank. That VR-powered all-new Nissan Z, you can see him pacing Stuckey now, coming off the bank into that first inside clip, transitioning now. See, that's what I'm talking about, just that chase that Osbo did earlier, so hard to beat. Wasn't as much angle from Stuckey, so the opportunity wasn't there, but the proximity Look at, you saw Forsberg grab that wheel and go left as he saw Stuckey unwind. Here we go as Forsberg will lead. Stuckey right there next to Forsberg. We'll see how he initiates and drops into formation. Forsberg high on the bank. That NOS energy drink, Nissan Z. Now into that first clip. Stuckey in the smoke, goes way on the inside.
That might have been 3 off.
And regardless, Forsberg continues on, and he will be going to the Final Four. All right, and yeah, we got the Atlanta final rematch in the Final Four. Chelsea Denofa, Matt Field. See right here, these guys are chomping at the bit. Denofa initiates, Field right there, working it to the wall. From the windows to the wall, to the doors sparking. Look at the angle from Field to the chase, and contact was made.
Looking real strong, and then right here, it looks like Field just gets inside. There is a little red light from Chelsea that comes on there, and just so everybody knows that light on the windshield.
Matt Field out front, Chelsea Denofa in the chase position. Matt Field, slingshot at the gate. Matt initiates, sticks it to the wall. Chelsea Denofa back quite a bit, but this might be strategy-wise. He might know who's at fault. Backs off just a little bit, now coming into that second inside clip. Matt Field knows. And Chelsea Denofa powers on through.
No way! Field not filling outside zone number 2. And then right there was just a light touch. It was a really light touch on Field's side.
One more time. What'd you guys say? What do you want to see? One more time.
One more time! Yes,
they're going at it again. There we go. Chelsea Denofa will lead. Let's not hit any cones to get a good start. Here we go. We got an all-wet run. Denofa and Field. Denofa initiates high on the bank. Field, look at that. I mean, they are just magnetized to each other.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, and both of them spin. Don't know if there's contact. Who's going to the Final Four? Good pace. You saw that? Chelsea running up. Now he knows he needs to be right. Oh, and he impedes. Ryan, that
was contact.
That was contact.
But if they're both going for it.
But if they're going for it, they're going for it. Matt Field continues through the course. Now coming down into the splash zone. And there we go. Chelsea loops it. So if Matt Field continues on through the course, Matt Field will be getting the win. And it looks like Matt Field keeps his composure. Even after that contact, it looked like Chelsea got his way, and Matt Field unofficially moving on. Again,
Chelsea spins, and Matt Field is going to get the win.
We're trying to go, bro. Everybody's yelling at me. We're the messenger. Send it! Here we go. Travis Reeder, Dylan Hughes, the zaniest battle you've probably ever seen in Formula Drift history. Travis Reeder initiates into the bank. Dylan Hughes goes up into the wall, pulls up with great angle. No smoke, it's purely mist. Coming up the back end of their vehicles. GT Radio Falcon Tire splash zone is on. They're jumping in like a high dive into that clipping point 2. Now into outside zone 2. Coming in, look at that splash right there in the crease. The water's collecting there. Travis Reeder barely goes over it. Dylan Hughes in the proximity. Make him feel the love.
To patchy, back to wet, after some dry. It's just wild.
Yeah, so here we go. Dylan Hughes initiates Travis Reeder right there. Look at these guys. I told you they'd be holding hands. Rain or shine, these guys are down for a good time. Dylan Hughes, Travis Reeder. Now coming into splash zone, boom. Right into that first inside clipping point. Oh, Travis Reeder looks like he keeps that a little too far long. And Dylan Hughes pulls away. Now he goes into the splash crease. Oh, look at Reeder. He comes back, he fights back. Oh, and he straightens out. And it looks like, wet or not, Dylan Hughes, Reeder spins. And Dylan Hughes gets the win, the dozer, the wet dozer.
Good memory.
So here we go. Frederick Osbo leaving the start line, and we got a clean start. Here we go. Frederick Osbo, the first run of this battle. Korsberg in tow. Osbo riding the wall. This is like what we just saw from those 2 American vehicles, and now we're seeing it from the imports of Toyota and Nissan. Osbo and Forsberg Now alternating positions, going to that second inside clip. Good transition for both the drivers. Forsberg doing a good job keeping that pace, keeping that tempo. Oh, coming up a little bit short there, but keeping that proximity is Forsberg. So compromising, getting deep, but getting close, trying to mimic that angle. Dylan has never won, but podium twice. As Chris Forsberg leaves the line, it's all about Forsberg and Osbo. And a transition there. Look at Osbo just barely flirting with that back bumper. So that's what we saw Osbo do earlier. So lower on the bank, proximity not as high. And we saw him do that against Essa. And look at, there's Osbo doing his signature move, just barely allowing Forsberg to transition, going to that final crease. And Osbo dropping back. Forsberg riding right on that edge. Osbo exceeding it just a little bit. Sliding right for Chris Forsberg, gets the win. Dylan Hughes, Matt Field. Dylan Hughes is leading, Matt Field's giving chase. Dylan Hughes comes down, we're losing bumpers. Dylan Hughes gives a little twitchy. Matt Field jumps to the side of him. We keep on partying, boys. Dylan Hughes, more angle, and Matt Field spins. Dylan Hughes keeps continuing on. And Dylan Hughes is Aquaman. As again, don't know where his trident is, but well done. Against the dozer that is King Neptune right now, harnessing the water energy. Matt Field up on the bank. Look at that, still not backing down. I said play it smart, but still being aggressive. Matt Field now coming down the bank, splashing down into that first interclip. Some break speed tap. That is a decel zone. That is allowed. That is to be expected. Now into that second inside clip. Matt Field goes into the crease. If Dylan Hughes keeps it settled, the dozer will be going to the finals. And it looks like Dylan Hughes will be getting the win. Dylan the Dozer Hughes gets the win. Dylan Hughes will lead. He out-qualified the three-time champ. Will Dylan Hughes get his first ever win in the rain? Chris Forsberg got second in Atlanta. Can he better it here in these very wet conditions? Dylan Hughes initiates on the bank. Good angle from him and his royal purple BMW O'Reilly Auto Parts. As the windshield wipers are wiping, the Rain X is a-working. Now down into that first inner clip. Chris Forsberg chasing him down into that second inner clip. Forsberg keeping the composure. Dylan Hughes, great angle from him. Going to that second outside zone, into the crease with Dylan Hughes. Chris Forsberg right there in the highest horsepower, all new Nissan Z, the NOS Energy Z, chasing down the royal purple BMW and Falcon tires. Wow. Hey, make some noise for our drivers, our two wettest gladiators of them all, making some history. Let's send it for potentially the final time. Is this it? Are we going to get a winner? Chris Forsberg or Dylan Hughes? Chris Forsberg initiates in his NOS energy drink. Nissan Xeno GT Rim. Look at Dylan Hughes, the proximity, the angle from Forsberg. Dylan Hughes chasing him down. You can see that brake light just barely kind of flickering on the wall. Coming down to that first inside clip. Transition, nice job by Dylan Hughes into the second inside clip. Are we gonna go one more time? Oh, Dylan Hughes does take out that inside clip. Chris Forsberg gets in the crease, does exceed it just a little bit. Now come and bring it along across the finish line. Forsberg or Hughes?
So it's gonna come down to who was able to have better proximity throughout the run, because
through the entirety.
Yeah, because both leads were really well done. Both leads were high on the zones, tight to the inside clips, so it's really going to come down to the chase runs, I think.
And it does sound like we have a winner. You know, third place, Frederick Osbo. And your winner, unanimously, here at Orlando SpeedWorld, is Dylan Hughes. Dylan Hughes gets the win. Chris Forsberg gets second. Frederick Osbo gets third. Dylan Hughes gets his first ever win in the wildest conditions you have ever seen. Slide him right for the royal purple. Of course, he's sponsored by Rain X. He is Neptune. Congratulations, his first ever win, that 2JZ powered BMW. Chris Forsberg, second place again, 2 events in a row, shaking things up. Osbo's just not running away with it. Field up in the mix. An amazing time. Thank you to the cameramen. Thank you to the staff. Thank you, of course, to the fans, the sponsors. Thank you to Ryan Lontaine, Brian Eggert, Chris Steele, Sean Adriano, Pat Gentile, Ryan Sage, of course, Ryan Sage. Thank you so much. Love you, man. Thank you for everything. This has been the wildest event we've ever had in our 18-plus years of Formula Drift. And it all is because of you, the hardcore fans, and the hardcore drivers.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner of round number 3 in Orlando, Dylan Hughes.
Yo. You know what? You can't see he's crying because he's absolutely soaked. The tears from the sky are Dylan's tears.